Hi, my name is Tony Van Veen, CEO of Discmakers, coming to you from our empty marketing offices in the middle of a thunderstorm. Our marketers are all safely working from home because the marketing, including this video, has to go on. Now, a few months ago when I started Discmakers video series about music copyrights and royalties, I asked you to submit your questions about music rights and I promised to answer them. Big mistake. Boy, did you have questions, so many questions, I couldn't possibly answer all of them. But I did spend a few weekends going through them, looking at the more common questions, and I answered a bunch of them. My Discmakers peeps, a couple days ago, compiled all of them in a long blog article and posted them on the Discmakers blog below. So after you're done watching this video, go over to the blog, the link is below, and you may see your name there. But first, I'm going to answer one question that an artist named John Gale sent me. It's this: if I produce a recording and I have other musicians on my recording, what are their rights and what are my rights, and how can we come to an agreement about ownership of their performances on the recording? So typically, if you are recording with other musicians, it's one of two scenarios. One is if they are quote-unquote in the band and you worked on the creative process together. If they contribute to the creation of the sound recording, even if they didn't work on the composition, they will generally share some copyright ownership. And of course, if you work on the composition together as well, they deserve some copyright ownership and therefore some royalties. Currently, there's kind of a modern concept or commonly accepted practice that if you are quote-unquote in the room together during the creative process, the songwriting or the recording, and you've collaborated and contributed to that process, then you share copyright ownership and you're entitled to some royalties as part of that process. So here's scenario number two. If you have everything basically set and you bring in some artists, some session players for the recording, and they're not quote-unquote in the band, their contribution can be considered a work for hire. And they should be paid a fee for their services rendered during the recording process. In order to avoid copyright conflicts down the road, it is highly recommended that in exchange for that fee paid, you make them sign a work for hire agreement that spells out your rights, their rights, and your ownership of whatever project that they are working on. If you Google musician work for hire agreement, you can find a number of free examples that you can adapt to your particular situation. If you don't have a work for hire agreement, then you leave yourself vulnerable to potential copyright claims by artists who worked on your recording, and this is particularly risky if your recording ends up becoming a big hit. So, long story short, be fair. If people are in the process with you during the creative piece, it's usually appropriate to share some partial ownership with them of the copyrights for either the composition or the recording or both. And if they're just brought in for the project to lay down some tracks, then you should protect yourself with a work for hire agreement. I hope you found this helpful. Again, for more of your questions answered, mosey on over to the Discmakers blog. Link is in the description below, and I'll see you next time.